Well, good morning. Just coming up to 6:01 on this Tuesday, and a key piece of Canada's wireless market is up for auction today as the federal government tries to improve competition within our country's multi-billion-dollar cell phone industry. Greg Harper is live in Vancouver this morning with more on that. Greg.
Good morning, Kyle. Yeah, how do you feel about your cell phone, the service that's provided? Well, depending on who your provider is, that service could get a lot better. Today is a big day. 10 Canadian companies are bidding on a key part of the market, 700 megahertz. Now, these are waves that should improve cell reception quite considerably. And this auction involves the big players, Rogers, Bell, and TELUS. It won't involve Win Mobile, which pulled out of the running yesterday due to a lack of funding. The government won't be happy about that, of course, because the government wanted more competition. It could take weeks before we know who won the new licenses and how much was paid for them. That will be interesting when we know that. Kyle?
Live this morning in Vancouver. Greg, thanks for that. Well, 3 men are in hospital as a result of violence in downtown Vancouver last night. It happened in the Hutchison block, which is now used for social housing near West Pender and Richard Streets. Police arrived at 8:15 last night and found 1 man stabbed and the other shot. A short time later, a 3rd man was taken to hospital with a gunshot wound. Police say the men are known to them and that it appears they had some kind of disagreement. All 3 remain in hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
We were outside having a cigarette, and I heard what sounded like 2 gunshots, really. It came after a big crash of glass. We thought a window had broken because it's not the first time.
A house on Steveston Highway is the scene of Richmond's first homicide of the year. Paramedics couldn't revive the victim after he was found outside a house yesterday afternoon. Last night, police were working to establish the man's identity and any connection to the home. They're looking for information from anyone in the area of Steveston Highway between 3 and 4 roads between 3 and 4 p.m.
Now I feel like I have to be a little bit more vigilant about what I do and who's walking behind me.
Meanwhile, the regional homicide team is marking the 1-year anniversary of a double murder by appealing for information. Jordy Carlo and John McGivern were shot and killed at a Surrey parkade. A green van was spotted leaving the scene and was later recovered, but no arrests have been made. Police do not believe the murders were gang-related. Langley RCMP would like to identify an assault suspect. On December 13th, a man and a friend caught a cab to 196th Street and Fraser Highway. Before they got out, the suspect allegedly stole the driver's iPhone and punched him in the head. The suspect is described as Caucasian, in his late 20s, with a distinctive skull tattoo on the back of his right hand. BC's Justice Minister says her office will not carry out an independent probe of an explosion at a sawmill 2 years ago in Burns Lake that killed 2 workers and injured 20 others. Suzanne Anton's comments came last night as the families of victims Robert Lugie Jr. and Carl Charlie said they were shocked that no one will be charged in the disaster. Crown lawyers said last week they will not proceed with charges, citing a flawed investigation by WorkSafe BC. Opposition New Democrats continue their call for an independent investigation.
We need to know what happened, not just this. We know some of the facts of what happens. We know that the government intervened politically to withhold information from the public. We know that Crown Counsel is suggesting that it was the bungling of another government agency that caused this. Changes better be made because this isn't accountability.
Firefighters in Australia have controlled a blaze that destroyed more than 50 homes, but they fear the worst is yet to come. Hundreds of people have been forced from their homes in West Australia's Perth Hills, and many are getting frustrated. Some of them may be escorted into the fire zone to inspect their properties today. Meanwhile, the heat wave continues across much of the country, with temperatures now soaring well above 40 degrees Celsius. Firefighters are on high alert, bracing for what they fear will be catastrophic blazes in the days to come. Thailand's embattled prime minister is insisting she will stay in office despite protesters blocking key roads to Bangkok's business district for a second day. The unrest began last year. The PM tried to ease it by dissolving parliament and calling for new elections early next month. There are growing doubts the vote will take place. However, both protesters and the main opposition party are calling for a boycott.